Okay, excited to announce our first guest on the Mindstream podcast. Former Navy SEAL, West Coast SEAL, Bloods Class 254, 10 years in the military, Mr. Brandon Cruz. And we stood up this podcast just as a reminder to show the world that we all experience the peaks and valleys of mental well-being and show to people what very successful people have used to overcome some of those challenges and those dark spots. So this specific podcast talks a bit about Brandon's journey from growing up in a small town in Texas to the SEAL teams, and then that transition, the volatile transition and what came after that, the highs and lows of losing purpose, the highs and lows of losing the brotherhood, and then the tools and processes and everything that he implemented to get himself into a better spot. So I hope you enjoy, and more to follow.
Back again for another podcast. Johnny Wilson, Mindstream podcast. Mindstream is for the Airstream that we have, that we run most of the podcasts from, but we're kicking this off today in the studio. We got a friend here, Brandon Cruz, former team guy. 10 years in the teams?
Yeah, 10 years.
10 years. And you were a West Coast guy. You were Team 1, Bloods Class 254.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a good job, man. Fucking nailed it, huh?
And from, let's do it. Hails from Texas. Whereabouts?
Yeah, small town just south of Fort Worth. Well, it's not small now, but it used to be.
Not small anymore, dude.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Everything's changing in that regard. But it was small when I was growing up. I loved it. I loved the country life. I liked the slow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was completely country. Friday night lights, you know what I mean? It was all football, you know what I mean? Like the community was like small.
Yeah, you played football, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how was that Texas football, man? It's like bigger than some college.
Oh, it's everything, right? You know what I mean? The rallies, the pep rallies, right?
Yeah.
Everything up and orchestrated into the actual Friday night. Oh, man, it's so much fun. It's a thrill, right? The cheerleaders, the whole bit, you know, it's so much fun.
What position did you play?
Cornerback.
Okay.
I like defense.
It was a big enough school where you didn't go both ways?
No, it was...
Okay.
It was
like pro. Like my school, I went both ways. I was cornerback and receiver.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I would have loved that too.
Oh, it was so much fun, dude.
Yeah, but
I even try to get out on special teams at times. They're like, calm down. They're not even that good.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the offense is great, but like hitting people was way much. Yeah, man. Just a fucking mass. You know, it doesn't have to be smart either. The ball goes that way and you fucking go. You know, chase down the guy. Yeah. So football was a good one.
All right. So football is a big part of your life growing up. Country, like it's changed, but back then it sounds like it was slow going, or like walk me through that.
Most of the days were spent outside.
Yeah.
I mean, we always played video games. You know, we still had the old.
What do we have?
Shit, like
Nintendo
Nintendo's,
64.
right? Yeah, old school stuff.
Yeah. What was your go-to game?
Man, we played a lot of 007.
Okay.
Forget about it, man. I was good at that game.
I like Zelda. Wait, was Zelda? That was on Sega, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Maybe.
I can't remember what platform it was.
But a lot of lazy days. I was always a dreamer, so my head was in the clouds. But there wasn't really much going on, right?
Okay.
I was finished, nothing really in my front sight focus of what I was going to do in my life. But,
Siblings? Siblings, brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I got an older brother.
Okay.
5 years older. This was great. Like growing up, because the sport he was in was boxing. And although I didn't do it, I was always in the gym and I loved watching him. He was a Golden Gloves champ for like 4 years. So, oh my God, it was watching him go in the ring, watching my parents transition from being like, good, studious, whatever, like law-abiding citizens to fucking maniacs. My brother goes in there, up in the ring, and my family just erupts.
Loses it.
It's a fucking Callan, Brian. It's my mom and dad. Yes, it was great. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
But just the one brother. We have a really good relationship. He's always been a source of he's a hero to me.
That's awesome, man.
My mom and dad still together. I don't know. They're typical Hispanic family.
Yeah.
They work extremely hard. Still do.
Sure.
My dad's almost 80. You know, he doesn't really never really takes a sick day. You know,
Yeah,
like
isn't that
kind of guy.
crazy?
Yeah, they're just different breed. He is for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was pretty much the upbringing.
Okay. Anything? So, obviously we're gonna get to some of the meat and potatoes of the podcast, like mental resiliency, health, but anything in the childhood or the upbringing, like any specific event that,
Yeah, I think for me,
yeah,
I just had to fight a lot. There's a lot of racism.
really?
So it wasn't uncommon for me to get into multiple fights a year, you know.
Mm,
So um, and I think that carried in over, you know, a tremendous amount of just who to trust. You know, I had a lot of street smarts, but I didn't really have, you know, some of the communicative skills, you know, that, you know, I was guarded.
yeah,
But I love sports, you know, but as far as trauma was concerned, that was always hard, you know.
sure.
Yeah. Um,
You think about that still today? Like,
you know, there was a time when I resented it a lot, you know.
yeah,
I hated the fact that you weren't really taken as a human being, you know. It was
yeah,
just it was halted for your skin. There was kids in the school that had family members that were like Klansmen, you know, and so they
wow,
would. It was a wild time too because of everything that was going on, all the Rodney King, you know. There
yeah,
was still times that we were civilly just we're not square, which,
yeah.
you know, understandably so, right? But yeah, there was a lot of that.
Damn.
Yeah,
It's tough, man. And what blows my mind is that it still happens today,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Maybe more low key, right?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
socially, you're in a jail cell if you say the wrong thing, right?
Yeah,
So I think it's less,
I
but
agree with that.
I
Yeah.
definitely think it doesn't, you know, necessarily all go away, right?
It's nuts, man. And then obviously we'll chat. Or we chatted a little bit about some of the things that we've experienced that has helped us get to a better place as humans. And just like when you hear these things still happen, maybe to your point, not as frequently, maybe not as aggressively, but they still happen. You're just like, man, how we're humans first and foremost. Like, how are you doing that?
Yeah, I think he's
Unfortunately.
taught, right? You know, I think that in that period of time, slavery wasn't that long ago, and it
Yeah.
just resonated.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't uncommon for most people just to have jokes, you know, on hand. I was always amazed at like how many jokes like my white friends had, and I had never had white jokes
Yeah.
because, like, you know, hockey wasn't enough, dude.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I had to like,
Thank you. When you
yeah,
call me, you call it like, thank, what?
yeah. What is
No,
that,
I'm
dude?
trying to
Yeah.
joke on you.
But nonetheless, it you know, it's taught me to love
Mm,
despite the radicals,
mm,
right? I
that's
mean,
awesome, man.
and in a way, you got to stand up for yourself. You know, there's things in which you can't run from, or you'll be in that victim place.
Yeah.
And so I just couldn't stay in that place, you know, although that you get scared into that place because, you know, violence has that, you know, tendency to put you into a scared state. But
Yeah.
there was always a little bit of a fighter in me. You know, I didn't like that. And so I'd always stand up to it. And, you know, it paid out in the end because I feel like we dealt with less of it, right? Because, you know, you weren't as scared to show your teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. A lot of our brothers in the teams, although every experience and journey is unique to that individual, there's some similarities between our path, right? Like racism, fighting, like, tough childhoods, abuse.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and we all gravitated towards this community of being a SEAL. I'm curious how you went
Yeah.
from high school playing ball, like what you just described, like what led you to be, I'm not trying to like
Yeah.
say that's the reason, but I'm just curious,
No,
like, how'd you find out about it? There was no movies or Netflix back then. Like, how'd you find out about it? And then how'd you end up in the teams?
I think that, and a great question, because it's a fun one, you know, the journey to get to right here.
Sure.
I've always had a fascination with and idolized movies, right? Military wise, you know, the stories always fascinated me. Although they resonated with real stories, I was like, oh man, there was an undying question I had about, can I do that? I think that resonates with most of us.
Mm-hmm.
what would I do if getting shot at, or I had to do in these intense situations, everything's going crazy, can I be this hero? That's really what I was, fascinated with at least the military side when you watch the movies and things. So I've always had a fascination with it. I think that before 9/11, um, I wanted to go in, I was going to community college. I had some knowledge about the military in general, and I started to poke my head into the soft community, going like Rangers, Green Beret, and just kind of seeing what was what, getting the books, any kind of knowledge you had, right? Those old books, I think there was like just a few books at the time that were, at least in my knowledge, that oh man, Marchenko, some of the other fucking, what was the other one? There was another one that came out. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
But the stories were so fucking good, right? These guys are sneaking in fucking mayhem, and then they're out, and it's like 6 of them, right?
Yeah.
And they're almost unbelievable, bro.
Yeah.
But I remember I was like, oh, chills, and you just can't sleep. You get your shit, your boots or your shoes at the time, you're going running, and you're in your head.
Yeah.
And I obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And then 9/11 happened, and I was going to community college, and it just kind of changed the whole course of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I think it's worth calling out, and I know this won't air on 9/11. Today's 9/11.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we've talked a little bit about it today, 23 years ago, like those towers coming down, folks like us, like sitting around, maybe lost, maybe not, like, but a lot of people were like, I'm raising my hand, I'm going in, and then what we've done and as a country and as warriors since then, because of that, like, I guarantee there's a lot of team guys that wouldn't be team guys if 9/11. And just in general, a lot of people want to come in the military. So, yeah.
I mean, at that time, I can't speak for yourself, but it felt like something we got attacked.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care. Politics, fucking, conspiracy theories. I don't care, because the people that were jumping out were real.
Yeah.
Fuck it, so.
Dude, that was tough to watch.
It's tough to watch. It's tough to talk about, right?
Yeah.
And that moment in time was horrible, right? And I guess in some ways, and I'm only taking it from the collective of what I've seen in interviews of our brethren,
Yep.
people in this same space. It's like, fuck that, dude. It's not okay. It's not. I may not do whatever, but like, I'm gonna do something.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think that you just started to peel the onion about like, okay, well, what does this look like? What are the SEALs? And then I just started to like, investigate anything and everything. The 234 thing came out, and that was it. That was all I fucking needed. It was like, okay, because I can play it in my mind now, right?
Yeah.
And I can work it backwards, and I at least have an idea, right?
You're talking about the Discovery Channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately so. I mean, I don't care. That's fucking data, dude,
Oh,
and like
100%.
intel.
I watched
and
it too.
like, it gave me a quick insight,
Yeah.
of like, okay, yeah, I want that. And it was also obsessive in a way, because I'm like, these guys are getting fucked up, and I just wanted the experience,
Yeah. Oh, we got the experience.
Yeah, we got the experience. But yeah,
That was a good, I mean, Discovery Channel did a great job with like watching Class 2, was it 234?
I want someone to go around and just say shit like that about me. You know what I mean? Like, here you go. It's like, yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. Sorry. So 9/11 happens, you were at community college, and then you go in, enlist, Bud's class. I mean, how was that process? Easy day?
No, yeah, no way. The process to get there, I'm not currently married, but I was for a long time, 23 years, love of my life. I was her high school sweethearts, right? Since the 7th grade. I fell in love really quick. She was an easy one to fall in love with. I think without, when we're talking about this journey,
Yeah.
right? Like, I wouldn't be here, and I don't know, if you can speak the same, if that you didn't have that one person,
Yeah.
that one love, right?
Yeah, that's
that,
my
like,
wife.
you carry that shit in there, that one person was like, believes in your crazy shit, and I think I've always been a crazy hater. I'm sure you have too, but like, I wouldn't have been there without that support and without that love. And out of everybody, I think that was one that just like, it was a catalyst, it was like, oh no, I'm going to do this. And you're like, oh shit. Okay. I believe in you, and, yeah. Quite the
Yeah.
experience.
So she backed that play. She was like, "Yep, you're nuts, you're crazy, but I believe in you.
Yeah.
Let's go do this."
Yeah. My son was
And
a
were
year
you
and a half.
married at the time?
Yeah.
How old
Married,
were you?
21, 22.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
21.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like,
And you had a kid?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All in.
What's his name?
Dalen.
Dalen.
Yeah. He's 21 now.
My
It's
gosh.
crazy,
I
right?
know. We got some grown kids running around. They ain't kids anymore.
And he's contemplating, the military too,
Yeah,
right?
kidding.
So it's full circle. It's
Yeah. That's awesome. That's beautiful. All right, so you go to boot camp. She stands by your side, and you guys go off to buds.
Yeah.
Did you get a contract right out of the gate, or you have to go to the Navy?
I did. I got a contract out of the Navy. When I showed up to boot camp,
Yep.
they said that my heart had an irregular beat, or my EKG was off.
Yeah.
So they canceled my contract. I had to go to Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh man, talk about a fucking depressive, right?
Yeah.
Remember when you were sharing your story?
Yeah.
And you had probably told people, but whatever it is, you felt like a failure.
Yeah.
And I'm always saying that because you expressed,
Oh, that's what it was. The Naval
journey,
Academy,
right?
kicked out, fake ID, worked so hard, and I'm pretty sure that's what you're kind of correlating
You're on the
to.
ground.
You're like, hey, your heart's messed up. You're done.
And a wartime, dude, I'm almost here fucking. And so I had to go and serve in an airloft in Oceana, Virginia.
Yeah.
Right. And it was crazy too, because a lot of the dropouts or people that got hurt were kind of, getting shuffled into that command. And I was like, man, fuck, dude, I just want a shot. And so it took me a journey. I found a dive unit over there, SEAL, one of the team 2 guys.
Yeah.
The doctor looked at me and I was like, hey man, I just want a fucking package,
Yeah.
And so I just kept going, and they fucking took me in and they looked at me, and my heart shifted. I don't know. They called it an athletic heart. I don't really fucking know, right? But it shifted. And I guess it was just getting an irregular beat, but I had to do all the tests, all the cardiology, fucking bullshit just to get a package in.
Yeah.
Finally got it in. And then I went over, a year and a half later, something like that.
Athletic heart, huh?
I don't know what that is.
Damn.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, that explains the run that we did today.
Yeah.
It's like a gazelle. It's like, I'll stay back here with you, Johnny. We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah.
All right. So you go, buds. Were you an original? Did you get rolled?
Yeah.
How'd that work?
I started 5.253, got rolled,
Okay.
pulled.
What'd you get rolled for?
Yeah, tread. Actually,
Mhm.
such shitty stuff.
Because you got an athletic heart.
Yeah, and
I'm
fucking,
just kidding.
yeah, no grit. That was fucking. I hate that shit. I hate when you fail, but nonetheless, it is what it is. And like reclass, which ended up being a blessing. And I love my boys, right? 253, they're great dudes, but I think that personality wise, I fit really good in the next class.
Cool.
And they're still my homies,
That's
like
awesome.
all the guys from that class were just really still tight, which is probably, I don't know if it's unique, but it was good. We all kind of we still gel. Clinton, all the boys, those are our classmates. So
yeah, it's the same. It's interesting. We've gone to war with guys. Well, this is just my perspective, right? I've gone to war with guys, and we did some pretty gnarly stuff, multiple deployments. And my best friends are from my buds class.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
That's cool to see you say that too, because it
Yeah.
really is like that.
I mean, the guys here this week, Kendall, Zaid, these are all OGs,
Yeah.
252.
I was lucky to have some of that transfer into the teams, and so it
cool.
was just one long kinship. So,
Yep.
yeah.
All right, so you go to 254, you go to Team 1.
Team 1.
How was that?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck. When you get that moment of like, this is where this is the shit.
Yep.
It necessarily wasn't anything special. It was the guys.
Mm.
Showing up to that team.
Yeah.
You got all your fresh stuff on.
Yeah.
And you open the door, and it's a different experience. You're obviously charged up. You just did something hard.
Yeah.
You went through some great training. You feel like you're a frog, right? But you're just the standard,
Mhm.
And I think that was a big eye-opening experience. Imagine if someone comes from college and you get to the NFL, and there's levels of this game.
Yeah.
Right. And the guys that are there are seasoned.
Yeah.
They've been to the big show plenty of times, it doesn't faze them, and in a way I felt like that. The guys were seasoned, you know. They had just come back from being overseas. They did some rad shit, and they were pissed in a way, right? They're still in that training mode, you know. They're just like, getting it. Yeah, it was intense.
Yeah.
And awesome, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in a way that it brings you into the moment every day, right? You were scared shitless, you know, you don't know what's going on, you're anxious, but like you have to attack that with effort. And so it was like the challenge every day, you know, but you were alive, you know, like there wasn't any days off. It was really exhilarating. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I remember showing up to Team 4, scared shitless. We got our birds taken immediately, right? Like, you guys think you're frogmen, you're not there yet. Took it off. You'll get it back after our deployment. Put it in a bird cage.
Yeah.
Running like, and then new guys running around with our bird cage. So, you know, dude, we had to earn it. I get it. Those guys had gone to war. They were tight. They needed to see how if we could do the job.
You know, truthfully,
yeah,
depending on the deployment, you may not get that motherfucker, you know, and I like that about it. You know?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. You gotta earn it every day, right? We always said that.
Yeah.
You gotta earn it every single day. So you go through the workup, you guys deploy, where do you guys go?
Iraq and Afghanistan.
Okay.
Both really great. If I had a good, like a great quality about me, right place, right time. Really, you know, as an operator, you're lucky sometimes to do the work. You know, I've known way better team guys than me. Solid. You know, magazine, you know what I mean? Like these guys are just so pro, so smart, so articulate. You put them in any situation and they just get it done. They make it look easy.
Yeah.
But they may not get the work.
Yep.
And by work, I just mean like you're able to take out the enemy.
Yeah.
You know, in the conflict that we want to see that.
Yep.
Yeah. That makes sense.
No, it does. Like, there's a bunch of guys, and they got out too, which is sad because these are some of the best operators, and they just never got the opportunity. It wasn't the right place at the right time. Hey, this platoon isn't going to Iraq. This platoon isn't going to Afghanistan. That's devastating for somebody that's done all of this. And I saw a couple guys just get dealt the wrong hands back to back, and they're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this. And they got out.
Yeah. The reality of being like some of the most operating SEALs isn't the best SEAL, right? Yeah. We can say that. I mean, maybe at the highest level, you know, I get that, you know, because it's more professional in some ways, but doesn't necessarily mean like, you know, and it's not to take the cake with Chris Kyle or any of these guys are, you know, done, but like we had some amazing, you know what I mean? And it's not to take anything away from them, but it's just to say that like, dude, we have some solid guys. They just never got a chance to like deploy their, you know, will. Yeah. Yeah.
So how were those deployments? What you guys?
Yeah, it was up and down. Yeah. Right. We had some really heavy shit, which was great, especially when we first touched down. You know, we were already getting troops in contact. You know, we were rolling, and it was fun. And then it was a lull, and then there was moments within that deployment where were heavy. You know, suicide bombers. You know, guys there was like 14 guys or something in a trap hole. You know, we ended up going on a long convoy, and we had intel of an op of actual foreign fighters that were in a compound. Yeah. And they were, you know, loaded to the gilt. You know, they had everything. So we made the trek out there. We did it with the Iraqis, which was hard, you know, driving with them on nods and everything else. But when we got there, you know, it was, we ended up pulling everybody out, asking them a bunch of questions, and they had a whole army underneath their floor. One of our new guys, beautiful dude, you know, I probably can't say his name, but we called him a bloodhound. You know, the guys just have instincts. You're like, how the fuck did you see that, dude? You know, they go in a room and they're like, oh, dude, this is off. You know, like there's structurally something off. Like just wizards. Yeah. And he was noticing so many things in the room that were off, like hidden, you know, compartments, doors, things like that. And he was actually looking on the ground, and he was like, oh shit, it's a fucking trap door. Called the EOD over, and opened it up, and everybody's already outside. We're interrogating them, they're doing the SSE, they're doing, their search, and they're checking out, what's in there. And at that moment, that EOD was clearing it, and a fucking grenade came out and hit him in the chest.
Mm.
You know that old "I'm rubber, you're glue." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Stick to me. And no shit, that fucking grenade goes back into the hole. You can't make this up, Avalanche. Everybody's pouring out.
Yeah.
Everybody's pouring out. And it's a fucking mayhem, right?
Yeah.
Because the guys are fucking spilling back to the vehicles.
Yep.
And we don't know who's who. Because the guys that are coming out on the back end, they look like U.S. fucking soldiers. They got nods. They got kit. And so we're at a fucking really,
Yeah.
where's this blue on blue? Let's fucking get the head count. This is what's crazy. When you go back to the fucking basics and you're like, hey, this is when you start buds.
Yep.
You get your fucking boat crew.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Right? How crucial that became at that moment.
Oh, sure.
Because how am I going to shoot? I need a head count. It was so trustworthy. My officer is a lovely dude.
Yeah.
Right? Clay Pendergrass. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It was a hard call for him.
Yeah.
1, Victor 2, Victor 3, Victor 4. And we're like, fuck, dude, do that again.
Yeah.
It looks like our dudes. And then they had to get it again. We're still trying to figure out who the fuck is these guys. And then we just had to trust it,
Yeah.
We knew we're up, dude. I'm fucking up, dude. Let's fucking mow these guys,
Yep.
fuck that. And then, the call came out and then we eradicated them, we backed up and called for CAS, but it was in those moments, right? And then they came up and they had suicide vests too, so when we were shooting, they were fucking clacking off.
Whoa.
We didn't know, we didn't know until we started doing the fucking, the afterwards, we saw them, decapitated. The 50 cals took off their heads and limbs and stuff,
Yeah.
we got lucky. And then when they actually got hit, it detonated them. It was so, and then there was moments we weren't doing anything. We were just, sitting in the tent, waiting for, something to pop, some sort of high, value target, whatever it is, or individual. Just kind of staying ready, playing video games and getting strong, doing range stuff or trying to do tactics. You know how it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 What was your go-to video game back then? We had Guitar
Call of
Hero.
Duty. We were Call of Duty, dude.
Okay.
Oh my God, we went crazy for it.
Dude, we had a band. I was part of Snake Tooth, not Snake
No
Teeth.
way.
Yeah, we had t-shirts and we had long hair and we had band. Dude, it was nuts.
Dude, the amount of shit talking that goes on between Call of Duty, man. It's like,
get the wig on.
I feel like that's the thing that we need to really, video, just get a bunch of props.
Yeah.
Let them fucking go play Call of Duty or one of the other shoot 'em games. It's hilarious. We would get so pissed, dude.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so bad. And then you have that one wizard on there that kills everybody's I'm hopping.
Dude, that's not cool. He's so good. And he blamed it on his little brother because they used to play all the time.
Yeah.
But it was between that and Halo,
Halo, yeah. Halo.
We get that hammer.
Yeah.
Fucking dude just doing out everywhere. He's so good, dude. You go there, sharpening up your sword. It was fun, man.
Dude, so that's a pretty intense that op, right? That's heavy.
Yeah.
Man, so you go through that deployment then. You guys come back, do another workup. Where do you guys go the second time? Was that Afghanistan or?
Yeah, it was Afghanistan.
Okay.
It was kind of all over.
Yeah.
We started at the air base there. Fucking, I'm drawing a blank. But we kind of spilled out into smaller units, which was so much fun. It was a great experience, actually. I made it leave LPO, which I wasn't great. I wasn't ready for that.
Okay.
I think that I made it too fast. The SEAL thing came on when you made rank, the SO rating came in.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
the SEAL rating came in, and it didn't have to be a genius. You just had to put your name on there.
Yeah.
And it just made rank really fast.
Sure.
So it challenged me in every way.
So
to
you
be
were
the leader.
E6, they put you in the lead-in petty officer LPO role.
And it was second platoon.
Yeah, that's fast.
It's fast.
Yeah.
It was fast.
Okay.
I didn't, but great experience.
Good.
Challenged me. It's the most challenging thing I think I've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it turned from your boys to okay, now I have to somehow change this to where we're not working together now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We are, but like there has got to be some sort of command here, you know, and it
Yeah.
was so hard. Because you know what it is to try to get, you know, make your dudes in line, you know, especially SEALs in general. It's quite the challenge, you know.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience. Had good leadership, you know, my mentor, still my homie, Dan Luna. You know, I had such a solid crew of guys, you know, there was just, you know, so I had great support, you know, I had a lot of like, you know, like checks and balances. It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah. So Dan was your chief?
Yeah.
A great dude.
Dude, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know what to say, you know, like as far as, it's a crap dice.
Yeah.
Who your parents are or whatever, right? You don't
Yeah.
fucking know. You're
Yeah.
lucky if you
Yeah.
get someone that's as solid and lovely, you know,
Yeah.
and then the way that he treated us, I mean, it was beyond, it was brotherly, but it was
Yeah.
also in this older, you know, more mature, I don't know,
100%.
brotherly way, you know.
Dr. Dan Luna, by
Dr.
the way.
Dan Luna,
Let's get
motherfucker.
that
You
right.
listen to
Dr.
dude,
Dan
Dr. Dan
Luna.
Luna, the tassel, you.
I know. USC, man, that's a real, like, huge. That's
Yeah,
huge that he
he's
did
a
that.
bench in his own way.
And that's
Hope you're enjoying this podcast. There goes the rooster. Hey, let me take a moment just to share with everybody about our upcoming Monster Mash. Last year, we did a Monster Mash in Wyoming and Montana, 10-mile swim in the Bighorn, and then we ran for 200 miles with plates. This year, as you all know, we opened it up and swim pairs this time, not doing a group. And everybody needs a swim buddy. And it's going to be a 5-mile swim up in Scottsdale and Lake Pleasant. We're going to run with our rucks this time. First shooting station's about 15 miles into the evolution. It's going to be a long gun. We're sponsored by Pure Precision. Thank you, boys, Chad and John, for the sponsorship there. So we'll have some team guys set up. If you miss, massive penalty. Once you're done with the shooting, you get back to running with the ruck. We'll have a second shooting station, TBD. And then we're going to end at Exos after 50 miles. Exos is an awesome human performance group out of Scottsdale. They have multiple facilities around the country, train all the pro teams, NFL, MLB, etc. Appreciate their sponsorship as well. If you haven't signed up, sign up if you're in for it. If not, you want to sponsor, please reach out. There will be a link below. We're looking for sponsorship. And then if you just want to donate to the cause, the mission is to save lives. We appreciate donations as well. Thanks.
Let's go back to some of those deployments, right? You were talking a little bit about Afghanistan. I mean, how did that compare? I mean, you really can't compare Iraq and Afghanistan, but I mean, was the op tempo good? Like,
Yeah, good question. Man, it was so much better.
yeah.
You know, as an operator, we got a lot of work.
Mm.
You know, there was much more variety, in my opinion, you know, of work, you know, because of the mountains, you could go out and use different assets to go and check different spots, right?
Yeah.
And then there was other areas where, you know, you may be on a big base, you know, places in Kabul, or, you know what I mean? Like there was just different environments, you know. I think that the fighters there were much stronger in a sense that they were more willing to like hash it out no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, I think that there was a more formidable enemy. You know, they weren't cowards in a sense. You know, I didn't, you know, it's hard to talk about different enemies, but like that's how I felt. Like I felt like when you were in
I know
Iraq,
what you mean.
you know, when
Yeah.
the conflict happened, you know, they were pretty sparse. And
Plus
it was
experience too,
easy
right?
for
Like, this
them to
isn't their
turn
first
on.
rodeo.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
was easy for them to turn on their brothers or their sisters. And I
Yeah.
didn't find that, you know, when I went to Afghanistan, it was much stout.
Yeah,
more stout.
that's a great point. All right, so you guys do that deployment. Sounds like it was pretty healthy from an op tempo. You know, let's spend a second. We did some violent things. We saw some pretty horrific things. And then, I mean, for me, I came back and I was kids, wife. I go right back to the home life.
Yeah.
That wasn't easy. Looking back, I was like, man, how did we miss that? Why didn't we have decompression stops? And I know we did, you know, some of that later in our careers, but how was it for you? Did you see anything? Like, were you able to control it? Because at some times we are able to control it and we compartmentalize it, but it comes out. But how was it for you?
Yeah. It's a good one. As a human, to be able to go drastically into altered experiences, you know, to have
Mhm.
a place where you're feel in an alien place and most of the people there hate you and you're fighting for your life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit dramatic, but I feel like that's
Yeah,
in its
that
sense.
describes it.
And then when you come home, you are in a sense supposed to have this change, you know, when your reality just I mean, you peered into something that, you know, not many people get to experience
Yeah.
in their lifetime. Um, so when I came home, yeah, no, it was a hard transition. You do your best.
Yeah.
We're taught to like, hey, dude, shut the, you know,
Yeah.
it's not the way, dude. We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, you show up and you train. And so I think in that way, I didn't really know. You know, I think that there was changes. I felt them, you know, but I didn't say anything. You
Yeah.
know, like if there was flutters or heart, you know, because your heart and your, or at least for me, it would go in survival mode. You know, you could feel it. You can feel the changes, but yeah, no, I don't think that. I think I found myself feeling more comfortable overseas
Mm-hmm.
and in that chaotic state than I did at home. I think that was the most dramatic thing that I really noticed, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew I was changed, you know? You're like a wild animal out there, dude, you know? It's like hard to like come back to reality,
Yeah.
you know?
And then you come home and you put some slacks
You're
on.
like,
You go to the Cruz.
and the energy is still
Still there.
kicking.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's still alive.
Yeah.
Those memories, everything that happened is still visceral. I mean,
Yeah.
you're still chopping it up with your boys,
Yeah.
right? It's the biggest thing that's happened to you in your life.
Yeah.
And you're trying to muddle it, you know, in some ways,
Yeah.
right? And then really in our minds, it's like the next thing. Let's go, you know, and in that way we are hyper focused on the thing and we can kind of like compartmentalize, right? I feel like we put it away,
Yeah.
right? And the same thing with the next deployment, you know, it was just now I've had the chance to feel that. And my next deployment, I was even further from that. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I felt like so disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah, way disconnected. And again, you know, I still felt like my life should have been just operating, you know. And you can still feel the kit and the Velcro, you know, and then the smells, you know. It's like I knew that I was better there than I was at home a lot of
Yeah.
times. Yeah. I could be in parts, show up, you'd be dad and stuff like, but like my brain was still going,
Constantly going.
right?
But,
And like
yeah.
we didn't have a chance to come back and take time. I don't know what that looks like, dude, you know, because the op tempo, we're still at war.
Yep.
Right. Maybe there isn't a great answer for that. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Did that manifest in any way? For example, like for me, when I left the team, I worked on Wall Street, and I caught myself putting myself in a corner everywhere I went. So the subway car, I'd be in the corner, like scanning threats. Like, did you see any of that back then?
it was so tough to not be in that survival awareness. You know, it's ingrained in you.
I know.
It's like having spidey sense in a way because you can feel things.
Yeah.
If there's someone that's off, you already know,
100%.
and you're de-escalating it, right? And you're looking for the things, and it's hard for you not to be a SEAL because even if that does go down, do you really want to be on that fucking train and you didn't do anything, you know?
Yeah.
And you got to live with that. Like that's the thing. That's our reality,
Yeah.
you know. So no, I don't know how. And in some ways, you felt like the protector, right?
Yeah.
You felt like you wore a cape, dude. You know, and to come back and to try to take that off and just, you know, put it somewhere, you know, I'm like, all right, no, man, it's like, and I don't feel like a hero, but in some ways, I feel like when I watched that movie, The Incredibles,
Yeah.
you see that guy?
Yeah.
He's sitting at the office in the insurance game. He's like, oh, fucking, what, you know, doesn't fit, dude, you know? There's a reason for that, you know, it's
Yeah.
because he's made that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hard transition though.
Yeah,
Extremely
let's
hard
go into
transition.
that because it crushes
It
dude's
crushed me.
souls.
Because what I found is the tribe and community, the kinship, the accountability,
Yeah.
you know, that is gone now.
Yeah.
And it's just left with me. And I've done nothing as far as a healing to my soul.
Mm,
I've done all the damage.
yeah.
and your only crutch is booze.
Yep.
Damn, dude. Fucked up. Fucked up. Miscalculated that, you know? And I think it, you know, it ruined everything for me.
Yeah.
I was a downward fall, decision after decision, you know, of trying to like come back to reality when I just couldn't do it myself. I was ashamed. How am I gonna tell these guys I am not the same, dude?
Yeah.
I can't even look these motherfuckers in the eye
Yep.
or myself. The only reason I'm up is because, you know, I'm on the last strings with my wife. My kids aren't really, you know, nothing's really panning out right now, you know? I feel like that resonates with a lot of us.
Yeah. What year was that when you transitioned?
2011, I got out.
Okay. And what'd you do? Or where did you start?
As far as like trying to come back,
Yeah, job wise, like what?
yeah, I did a lot of same work, right?
Okay.
Overseas, I did some anti-piracy. I had my own business.
Okay.
If I wasn't busy, it was bad.
Yeah.
And that's where I was always trying to find that it keeps me motivated, right? But I wasn't really dealing with the problems.
Yeah.
Did nothing for the problems.
Yeah.
I felt like I could muscle my way out of this. And if I just put myself into what I did before in the SEAL teams, mission focused, nothing gets in the way, I'm going to make it.
How'd that work?
Such terrible, terrible math.
Yeah. Yeah.
No God, no conviction. And the only thing I had was a bottle.
Yeah.
It's not like I drink all the time, but when I did, holy fuck, it was nuclear.
Yeah.
Things that are just shameful to say.
So I mean, doing the war thing, you know, we talked a little bit about some childhood, like some of the racism. Like, did that start? I mean, all that compartmentalized, we're really fucking great at that. Did that start showing up? Like, did
Yeah.
you start?
Yeah.
I mean, were
The
you
more that I was away from, it was like this journey,
Yeah.
you know? Maybe I should have done it before I got in. Some of those questions that I'm asking
Yeah.
out and no. And those ways in which we carry those really traumatic things in your life when you had to fight. Let's, for instance, when I was young,
Yeah.
you know, you put that away.
Yep.
You know, you don't look at it. You don't even think about it. People that have been hurt or abused or fucked up, you know, you carry those fucking thing like a torch, dude. You know, the day, the memory, you know, those don't fade. And yeah, they come up. And I think that in my journey, falling down the mountain, I learned that it was good to be honest.
Mm.
Again, good friends.
Yeah.
Reaching out, which is what this is all about. This is no plug that this swim buddy shit, you know, someone reached out like, yo, dude, like, I went through this.
Yeah.
Whatever modality it was at the time.
Yeah.
I've kind of done a lot, you know, I've done hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Done the stellate ganglion block. Fucking great, right? But I don't think I've had the effects that I have had without like plant medicine. That was a game changer.
Yeah. What specific medicine?
Ibogaine and the 5-MeO DMT. I think it's I don't know who found that out, right?
Yeah.
That mix. God bless them. Thank you. What a journey. And what that actually looks like, right? You know, when we talk about healing and like coming back from what I just described.
Yeah.
All of that shit, you know, should probably, you know, it has a weight on the person, you know. And then for me, and having those modalities, especially the plant medicine,
Yep.
and to be giving an opportunity to have a second chance. Oof.
Yeah.
It's powerful. It's nothing more. It's nothing less than when people, I imagine, you get saved. You feel baptized. You feel like, oh my God, dude, like I need to spread this, dude. You know? And it's mm,
So all right. I'm gonna dig in a little bit into that. You go do. You're in a spot. You transition. Transitions is tough. You're trying to find your way. You start your own company. You're doing the contracting thing. You start turning to booze. Kind of not deal with your shit. Is that fair
yeah.
to say?
Oh yeah.
And then buddies, swim buddies, teammates, they come out and they're like, "Hey, bro, like we gotta address this. This
Yeah.
isn't." So you start looking at modalities, and some of them are great. I agree with you. Hyperbaric, stellate ganglion block, they were able, but is it fair to say that was kind of a temporary
It was a
fix?
yeah, definitely. I think it was it was a way for me to see how much I'm dealing with, right? Like the stellate, in my eyes, it was like you could feel everything around you.
Yeah.
It was very loud. And as soon as that went away, holy shit, I was crying.
Mm,
The doctor was like, dude, it was fast, you know, it was 15
yeah.
minutes. But the peace that I had,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, dude. And that goes into every decision that I'm making based on this anxious fear.
Wow.
Powerful.
That is powerful. And it's so true. That resonates with a lot of us, man. How many team guys do you know? We're just folks you know in the military that are super wound tight, super anxious, and they're making all these decisions from that place. Majority?
Anger.
Yeah. Yeah. Anger. That's another. Yeah. So then who introduced the concept of plant medicine to you? You remember who that was?
Dan Luna.
Dan Luna, my
My
man.
homie.
Dr.
Yeah.
Dan Luna,
Dr.
dude, we got to get it
Dan got
right.
me fucking, he got me again.
Good doc.
My love, dude, you know, like it's
Yeah.
hard to not tear up for people that have such a genuine affection for you, you know. But yeah, he did. He introduced me to some other SEALs,
Yeah.
Brian Losey, you know,
Yeah.
Clay Pendergrass. They were running the mission within, and that's how it happened, you know. And then from there, I've just been I'm sober. I'm sober, and now that's the crazy part. For about a year and a half, maybe
Dude,
I mean,
congratulations.
almost 2 years, you know, and that in a sense has given me like the steering wheel back,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I'm not operating out of fear and
Sure.
anger. I mean, there still resonates, but that's not. It's more out of love, dude, and it's grand, right? Because I feel free, you know, even though I'm not in the best place, you know, I'm divorced, you know, and my kids, we're working it out, but it's gonna be okay, you
It is
know.
gonna be okay.
Yeah, and I think that that's the thing. At the end of the day, what's hope?
Yeah.
You know, if you go Darth Vader, fucking, it's okay. There's hope. You can come back.
Yeah.
You know, you can come back.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does, man. I've gone through that protocol as well, and I describe it as just, I mean, it was a tough experience for me. It was a hard experience for me, but I came out of it and felt like this connectivity, this oneness with almost everything, but with others. Super stubborn in my ways. Like I can only see through this 1 degree, this lens right here, and it gave me a different, like 1 degree off, and that was enough to see the whole world in a different view. So yeah, that resonates with me. Hey, so you talked about Stellic, and it just gave you that like quietness, right? You cool with sharing a little bit about your psychedelic experience, and then maybe what that did for you specifically?
Yeah. The plant medicine,
Yeah.
it was wonderful to see the roots of it, and not in a weird way, but like really, like where does it come from?
Mm.
You know, the Ibogaine, West Central Africa,
Yeah.
the tribe, it's a Bwiti tribe, right? Yep. The fact that you can have an experience in 3 days and psychotherapy work your shit out.
3 days.
Holy fuck. I've been looking for you for this long, dude, you know? And it's really hard to like, you know, it's hard to, you know, really translate.
Yeah.
But the Ibogaine was, in my sense, you know, it was your introduction to what there's this place where we as humans can go, right? And it feels so real to be able to peer into the side of the mystic, to be touched by it,
Yeah.
to see things you can't really describe.
Yep.
They're true to you. That's all that matters.
Yep.
And then you get this knowing, bro, this is real, right?
Yeah.
You can't deny it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care, like if you didn't believe, like, and you can't there, like, oh my God, something's, it's unfortunate. But that was a 10-hour journey, and it was more about purging for me. I puked a lot, I just like most of it, but there was a period there where, angels showed up, and it just took me on this journey, and the angel kind of just, oh man, showed me so much in a small amount of window. It was what is described on, I think, most of what I've heard from other frogs the same. There was a screen,
Yeah.
it was a life, and they were showing me moments in that. I think that what I really loved about it, one of the most memorable things about it, is the angels showed me kids. Just fucking kids.
Hmm.
And I remember hearing them laugh, having fucking fun. And I was like, I remember being happy, For me, you don't know how to like perceive that, but for me it was like, oh dude, you gotta be a kid,
Yeah.
You gotta be more kid-like,
Yeah.
Have fucking fun,
Yeah.
And I think if I had to come back, I'm genuinely a kid anyway, so it's easy for me, and there's so much to that experience, and I'm still, processing,
Sure.
right? It showed me my family.
Yeah.
After that experience, I had this really deep love for my family. It's like you fucking, oh my God, dude, you feel things that you've done and like the things that you're, going on. You're like, oh my God, dude, I just wanted to call them. I wanted to call them, tell them how I love them. Like, oh my God. But that was like a 10-hour journey. You kind of come out of it, and the next day they had a nutritionist, and it was just journaling. Everyone's kind of like, what the fuck happened? There was 5 of us, and I'm writing stuff down. I didn't really, and I felt like at that moment it was good, but I didn't get what I was searching for. And that next day, you got every bit of it. You got every fucking bit. Oh my God, the toad is so scary, dude.
Oh my God.
It's the scariest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
It's the scariest thing I've ever done, dude. Oh my God, dude. But that was more like a rocket ship.
Yep.
That experience was the best. Yeah. From the way it was administered, I loved the fact that because the plant medicine is so powerful, like if you just took it, I don't know how that would go. But I love the fact that it was fostered right. They made you write the intentions, so that was carried into the ceremony.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like you were getting
at a rave or
hey, I got a DMT pen or whatever the fuck like people have, Like I'm scared of that, because if you're not like, I don't know if you're gonna get all that goodness, like going deep and like doing
I agree
the work.
with that.
Yeah. So I love that part that they did that right. But I like after the DMT, I did it 3 times.
Okay.
And I just felt, oh my God. Oh my God. It was like I had cheated, There's so many people out there I know that are rough, even now. It's hard to feel this way and know that there's modalities to get what we've experienced.
Yeah.
And there's people suffering.
I know.
Right? And it's like, oh, fuck, dude, I'm blessed. I'm lucky, right? I know, I mean, for the soft community, we have those avenues,
Yeah.
But I don't know. And then after that, it's been a journey,
How many years ago was that?
Where are we at? What is it?
24?
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you do that let me ask you one question though. Were you on any like prescribed traditional medication? Did you go see a doc? Did you go to the
Yeah,
VA?
went to
Talk
the
to some-
VA. Yeah, they
Yeah,
had all the pills.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that was my other journey. You know, I didn't want to commit to taking these
yeah. I get
band-aids,
that.
you know, and I had friends that were in that space, you know, even family members that were addicted to pills, you know,
Yep,
and I know that I have an addict spirit, you know. I didn't need to fuck with that, you know.
sure.
So it began the journey, dude, you know, just
Yep,
asking friends and like, hey, who knows anything? And like from the guys, it was kind of weird because the culture was weird.
yeah,
No one wanted to really say, oh, dude, I had problems and I went there,
yeah,
you know, even as the ego speaks, you know. But now, right, I feel like we're being able to like, oh, dude, no, you got to check this shit out, dude,
yeah.
you know, because we're losing too many dudes.
100%. Yeah. It's great. It's not crazy. It's beautiful to see the amount of operators and guys that have gone through the process where we started and where we're at today, right? Like initially it was like, hey, is this real? Like, and then even when you came out of it, there's a little bit of shame because we don't know how to talk about our mental health. And now today, like guys are like, you got to go do this. And oh, by the way, I was pretty fucked up and I acknowledge that. And I wasn't a good husband and I wasn't a good father. And you know, at times I was a shitty teammate to you. I
Yeah.
never said that stuff before.
No,
I
man.
was like, dude, it ain't me, it's
It
you.
was me. Yeah, man. I'm fucking good, dude. Yeah.
I'm good.
Smell your shit,
So it's
dude.
cool to see where we've come today with that. Describe the 2 years, the last 2 years, like
Mm.
you come out of that. And again, this isn't a panacea, but it's helped us get perspective. It's helped us, heal with some of our traumas. But we're still on the journey of life, and the journey is not.
And that's the thing, too.
Yeah,
I think for myself, now that I've done that medicine, it's hmm, it's allowed me to be the person I want,
mm,
you know. There's still ideas that I still can wear that cape,
yeah,
you know, in some way.
sure,
I can't, you know, like how can you go away without not wanting to help, right?
yeah,
To help. It's not to be the fucking person in the air. It's really just because like we have the power to help, you know, and I feel like I don't know what the mission is yet, but this has got to be part of it, you
yeah.
know. Because every time you look and see in the paper, you get the fucking news that like, you know, like, hey, dude, we just lost someone else, you know.
I know.
Fuck, dude. So it's a hard one. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think some of the challenges were for you? Like for me specifically, is like the lack of this, right? When I
Yeah.
got out, transition and put the suit on and worked in the city in New York City and worked in finance, like it didn't fit. It never freaking fit. I missed you. I missed the community. You know what I mean? Like, what were some of the things for you that were just like
Oh,
the voids when you left?
yeah. I think that this is it, you
Yeah.
know, having some sort of connection and the ability to tap into an energy that, you know, really it calibrates us.
Yeah.
The more that we're around each other, it's okay, you know. I don't know. Um, I think that the next journey, right, the part of this that we're uncovering is creating those experiences,
Yeah.
right? And making it for a cause.
Yeah.
So that way we're still in this thing that we've already signed up to be.
Yeah.
You know, like let's just find another avenue, you
Yeah.
know, and pull as many guys as we can into this because I feel like, you know, it's one healthy for us,
Yep.
you know, but I think to the collective, it's the right fight for us, man. You know,
100%. We need goes back to what you said at the beginning, right? Like you had a tough upbringing, there was racism, like you had to fight, and we got a fighting spirit in us, despite the fact that we've done plant medicine and we found some healing. There's still that edge because there's so much chaos in the world. And to your point, you don't want to be the person on the train sitting idly by when somebody's getting attacked. So for us, the new mission is, hey, suicide, we're losing our friends. That's a mission for us. Let's get back together. Let's do something challenging. I
and
think
that's
that,
why I'm so happy. I'm
yeah,
so grateful for you to put this together,
yeah,
right? Because it is like that. Like, okay, now we're kind of getting on the back end of what,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I already feel alive,
Me too, man.
right? I feel like the energy is lifting me up. We do that not
Yeah.
knowing, you know.
Yep.
It's just from guys like Zadok,
Yeah.
just being himself, just adds that, I don't know, added, uh, I don't know how to put that, you know, but there is a part of this warrior culture,
Yeah.
you know, when we're together that we lift each other up, you know,
Yeah.
we're fucking, oh shit, man, you know, and we're competing and
Yeah.
it's right back to like, you know, we
Yeah.
never left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we started that Monster Mash. So, like, for those that don't know what the Monster Mash is, in the teams, it was every couple Fridays. We'd just show up and we'd go out there and we would pay the man. Like, hey, we're doing a swim.
Logs,
Oh,
boats, like all the stuff that we hate, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was like that.
So then we leave the teams and we leave the military and we think we got to just abide by the rules and play the game. But the reality is we can kind of do our own thing. There's still problems in the world. Let's create a mission. Let's raise money for a good cause and let's do something challenging. Doesn't care we're getting older, 40s, 50s. So the Monster Mash is essentially going to be that. Like last year we did a 200-mile run and a 10-mile swim, and that was probably too aggressive and over the top.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. The dudes
That's the thing,
hated
though.
each other.
Afterwards, you know,
Yeah.
you guys are just the same, you know, like we're
Yeah.
cussing each other,
Oh,
like,
God, I
ah,
hated
man.
you guys that I ran. I hated Eddie. I hated it was just, I just didn't. Oh. But then it's over and you're like crying. There's like,
Yeah.
I'm not crying, you're crying,
You come
hugging
here,
each
dude.
other.
Yeah, come here, dude.
And we raised a good amount of money. We're doing it again. We're going to do it in Scottsdale this year.
I hope it continues.
Yeah, it should,
Yeah,
right? Because we need this.
Yeah.
I think that's what we were trying to get to is like,
Selfishly, yes.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. It makes us better. It makes us better friends, humans, fathers. We need to challenge ourselves.
I think that this right here takes
Yeah.
up a lot of it,
Yeah.
you know? Without this, I typically, I do a lot of rock climbing,
Yeah.
you know? I still stay in the physical realm.
Yep.
I'll do some breath work and things like that. I like saunas, you know. I know it sounds funny, but you know, the steam, all that stuff.
Yep.
I think a lot, you know, it's usually a good place for where I meditate, you know. Long walks and books, you know,
Yep.
that usually gets me into a good space.
Nice.
Yeah. Gets me into, you know, my head and, you know, I'm walking, I'm still physical. So, you know, the audiobooks usually help out a lot.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know, I'm still the same guy, you know. I still play some video games. I play Rainbow Six Siege if you've ever played that one. That one's dope. And then you know, spending time with my family. It's
Yeah.
nothing too crazy.
That's awesome. I gotta get back in there's just like I'm embarrassed. My kids just crush me in
Dude.
video games and I get upset. I'm so competitive. I'm like, nope. Yep. And you guys lost the
Yeah,
you guys
and
lost
now
it for-
you guys can't play ever
yeah.
again.
Nobody's not playing for 1 week. What about maybe a piece of advice, right? Like we got a lot of veterans, first responders that listen to this. Like, you know, what's a piece of advice that you can give them when it comes to their mental well-being?
Yeah, I think that if you are struggling and the only way that you can recalibrate is using things.
Mm-hmm.
If you're finding yourself to be isolated or just down, it's I think that just reach out to someone you love, you know, someone that you care about, that you can like share things with. I think that that's the first step, you know.
Yeah.
To me, it has been with me, you know,
Yeah.
is being vulnerable enough to say you need help, and then doing those actions and trying to go out and actually seek help, you know.
Yeah.
And I think on the opposite spectrum, if you see someone, you know, have the courage to go up and be like, hey, dude, it's hard to ask your boy, like, hey, dude, you all right?
Yeah.
Check in with you.
Yeah.
I know you're drinking, you know, like, fool me.
Yeah.
And like getting into the face of like someone, I think that that's our responsibility.
Yeah. So we went and spoke to a police chief interview, so working with that specific police station. And he said something, and it's like, I will continuously bring this up. It was a perfect thing. He said, what we need to start doing is challenging the okay. And what he meant by that is, like, historically, you and I in the past, let's go rewind 5 years ago before we started our mental well-being journey, mental health journey. You ask me how I'm doing, and we could be best friends in the world, and I'm going to say I'm okay. Same thing. Challenge the okay. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
To your point, like, it's uncomfortable to bring it up. I mean, that's why we built the tech to help people, like, cut to it, alerts your buddy, obviously, hey, your buddy's not doing well. Now we can maybe take some of the uncomfortableness, but I guarantee that guy's probably going to say the same damn thing. I'm okay. Nope. Let's talk through it, man. The data says something different.
Yeah.
So anything that we missed that you're like, oh, I got to bring it up?
No, I think that this is part of it, right? You know,
Yeah.
it's just shedding light, talking about it more,
Yeah.
letting whoever know that, you know, there's ways to come back home. You
Yeah.
know, and that, you know, there's always hope.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really it for me.
Well, I appreciate you sharing, man. I appreciate you running that race.
Yeah.
Fun.
The race is gonna be a man.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be fun. We mapped it out today. There's a lake. We're gonna do a
Okay,
lake,
check.
14-mile run to a shoot station, and then we're gonna go through some gnarly terrain. They got some like black mountains, and we're gonna end up at Exos for everybody.
Okay, cool.
Have like a small little 24. Well, it's not small, but it's gonna be a proper race. But then we'll end here and have
That's
just a
badass.
small little, like celebration ceremony
Yeah.
for, crushing ourselves.
Yeah,
But
I
I
love
appreciate
that.
you being a part of it, man.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you too, man.
Yeah, love you.
All right.